Welcome back to another YouTube analysis video. I'm your host, Kia Senseless, aka YouTube Analysis on LSE and RyanKia02 on Twitter. Okay, so what we're going to be going over today is one company in particular that I actually hold a position in and I'm very confident in long term and both short term, especially at this time of the year, with their great prospects ahead. But I'm going to try and keep it balanced so I can be informative in this video in particular. Okay, so I'm going to start this off and say Hydrodec Group. Their chart, if we look at them, they've been drifting significantly for the past year and 2 years since oil price has fallen from highs to lows and mounts to an intermediary level. So as you can see, this particular level is when oil price has been significantly higher, and as these guys are in the transformer oil business, they had significantly high revenues, margins were not too disturbing, and their profits were significant. They were on track to be creating significant amounts of profit. But when oil had fallen from $110 approximately to somewhere near of, I believe, $27, these guys had bottomed out at around 1.85 pence, or in January, if we link them up, you'll look at 4 pence being their bottom there. However, these guys have also had some issues with funding, but their shareholders have bailed them out. Their major shareholder, which is also happens to be their non-executive director, who owns 27 point something of the business, which is quite significant. And they've been progressive ever since from the past 3 months, but as you can see on the share price, there's been no significant rise. There's just been drops and consolidation, not too much in line with what fundamentals have been given out. So if we look at previous RNSs, we can see on the 7th of January, approximately a year ago from now, they had made quite a few advancements. They produced 10.5 million litres in the current year, which this had been chosen from. And if we look back at the chart to January 6th in 2016, we will find that the share price was significantly higher, and I believe near 4 pence, as you see here. And it was 10 odd million a year, 10.5 million barrels of re-refined oil produced. Then we fast forward to the current day, or very close to what we are in now, because we're in the 23rd of January currently, and this RNS was stated the 12th of December. Alone on that month, they had record production, and they've reached delivery of record sales for 2.8 million litres in particular. And if you take an average estimation, although this is the highest and it won't be near to that, you say 2.8 million times 12 months, that's significantly higher than the 10.5 million of the previous year. So shouldn't the valuation of the company be much more higher? And if we go down in this RNS in particular, 12th of December trading update, it talks about them establishing a profitable operation. If this profitable operation is to be fulfilled, then there is a potential element of them succeeding towards a valuation of potentially 40 to 60, 80, maybe even 100 million, because this is a profitable business and they're making quite a lot of money from it, not just with reserves and sales, paying expenses to establish the business. But as you can see, the company is much more progressive as it goes along. So I'm going to go to the next RNS. These are the financial results for the 30th of June, the 6 months ending 30th of June in particular. So it's supposed to be a half-year report. It was released on 16th of September, and it states that they'd have revenues of 8.1 million, and their revenues had increased by 148%, which is quite a significant number. Although their loss had been decreased, they haven't had any profit, which is the reason why the price is so low currently. But this was the 6 months to September. Now we're going to look at some recent results, which link us back to the valuation of the most recent trading update, which is dated the 12th of December 2016, as you can see up here. And they'd produced 2.8 million barrels of oil, which brings me back to this number in particular. If these guys had produced 10.5 million barrels and they had had a very low loss, if they produced 2.8 million litres alone in one particular month, and we have 12 months in a year, you're looking to near double production, which could potentially see a near double in the share price immediately on the release of this news, because it's a great advancement in the company in particular. Looking back on some additional RNSs, just for clarification for shareholders, there was an RNS stating that they'd disposed their UK operations and they'd sold it for £1 in particular, but there was some additional agreement where they get some kind of funds back that they've invested into this project, although they're selling it for £1. It's kind of similar to the BHS situation, but there's £1.8 million debt tied to this subsidiary in which they've disposed of for £1. So they lose £1.8 million debt, and this potential small asset which isn't providing them much is making them significant loss for only £1, which is great for the company as a whole. So what we look on now is where's our main source of income as shareholders in Hydrodec PLC? Well, that brings us back to Canton. Canton is our main asset which is making advancements as the days go on and revenue is coming in. We have sales, we have carbon credit agreements, we have anything you could imagine, which excites me as a shareholder. Getting back to the personal view, I kind of see value on sentiment changes alone, because recently in the market there's been quite a lot of movement based on sentiment changes. You've seen it on companies such as Codal from 0.03 to 0.56 peaks, currently 0.42 I believe that. You've seen it on Kenvy, you've seen it on SAV, the list is endless. But with this company in particular, they're already undervalued, pre-sentiment being restored. With the record volumes, we could infer that there's something particularly happening with the company. Maybe the trading statement is leaked, maybe there's some RNS already pre-logged. God knows, maybe even something could come tomorrow. But we're not going to think that conspiracizing. We're not going to conspiracize on any theories that are up and coming. We're just going to look on the facts right now, and the fact of the matter is, nothing can state this is particularly undervalued unless there is a delay in advancements, because they've been so progressive recently, and there's an expectation in the market for the next update to kind of ride them back up to the previous half-year highs, which take it up to around 4 pence, 4.13 pence. And if these are achieved and sustained, they won't have to revisit those low levels, and it could almost be like a recovery play, hence my suggestion of FXPO. And for all we know, these sort of levels could be revisited. But it's a mere market cap for 43.8 million revenue in particular. With the almost double in production, which I forecast, the market value could significantly increase, alone to maybe from $43 million to maybe potentially $60 to $80 million. Not only does that create them profitability in this business, but this grows the business as a whole and makes more money for the shareholders, more money for the company, and there's a good discounted cash flow coming in there. Nothing to worry about. Or is it? I'm going to leave it on that. And if you're a shareholder in Hydrodec, let's all hope for the best. If you're not a shareholder in Hydrodec, feel free to read into it, or if I missed out anything particularly negative, please add it in the comments. So, thank you.